Have you ever entered a space and instantly sensed you didn't fit in? Perhaps the vibe was oppressive, the dialogue was exhausting, or the individuals made you feel like an overlooked guest rather than a cherished visitor. As we age, we learn that not every location merits our company, and not every dwelling is a haven for our calm and joy. In today's presentation, we'll explore 7 kinds of residences you should steer clear of in your later years, places that sap your happiness, disturb your tranquility, and make you doubt your value. Watch until the conclusion, because safeguarding your spirit is just as vital as protecting your well-being. By the final insight, you'll gain a clearer perspective on how to depart without remorse and embrace the liberty to select where and with whom you share your valuable time. Before we start, I'd appreciate your giving this video a thumbs up. It helps me continue sharing these aging insights. If you haven't joined our channel yet, please subscribe and activate the notification bell so you won't miss any updates. If you enjoyed this video, please write number 1 in the comments. If it's not your favorite, write number 0 to help me improve future content. Now, let's dive in. Number 1. The residence where you're not sincerely embraced. Few experiences are more discouraging than entering a place where your arrival feels like a burden rather than a delight. It's a subtle yet unmistakable sensation maybe. It's the cool, duty-bound welcome at the entrance. The absence of warmth in their expressions, or the way talks seem laced with strained courtesy rather than true curiosity. You might observe how they glance at the clock more often than they connect with you, how they neglect to inquire about your life, or how they appear preoccupied, waiting for you to depart rather than treasuring the moment together. As we mature, it becomes crucial to be selective about where we direct our energy and whom we let into our lives. Your time is precious, and your presence should never feel like a weight to anyone. If visiting a particular home leaves you feeling undervalued, unnoticed, or barely endured, it's a signal that your company isn't truly treasured. Connections, whether with kin, companions, or acquaintances, should rest on mutual esteem and gratitude, not duty or routine courtesies. Instead of spending your cherished moments in places where you're met with apathy or quiet dismissal, choose to surround yourself with individuals who rejoice in your company. A hospitable home is one where you're welcomed with kindness, where your tales are listened to with eagerness, and where your presence sparks smiles rather than unease. You deserve to be in environments where you're esteemed, not merely accepted out of necessity. So, if you ever leave a residence feeling depleted, wondering why you even bothered to visit, take it as a lesson. Please don't squander your time in places where you're merely tolerated. Invest it with those who make you feel genuinely embraced, where you can be authentic, share joy, and feel at ease. Life is too brief to spend with those who don't truly value you. Remember, you have the power to choose where you spend your time. Number 2. The residence where conflict and pessimism dominate. Some individuals flourish in turmoil, as if they can't operate without it. Their homes are brimming with incessant disputes, strain, and an aura of strife. Grievances replace thankfulness, yelling overshadows laughter, and, no matter how promising things could be, negativity always seizes the spotlight. If you linger in such a setting, you may depart feeling emotionally sapped, mentally weary, and weighed down by issues that aren't even yours. These residences often revolve around cycles of pointless clashes, PTI disagreements that spiral into major disputes, passive-aggressive jabs masked as conversation, and an endless flow of rumors. Instead of being havens of solace and refuge, they turn into arenas where peace is the rarest treasure. The atmosphere is heavy, and the air is thick with tension, making even brief stays feel stifling. As you age, your mental serenity should be a top concern. The older you get, the more you realize that time is too valuable to spend in spaces filled with animosity, resentment, and unnecessary strain. Surrounding yourself with negativity, even briefly, can have a lasting effect on your mental and emotional health. When a home is governed by drama, it drains your vitality, disrupts your inner peace, and may even bring unwarranted anxiety into your life. Instead, seek residences where love, compassion, and empathy form the bedrock. You deserve to be in spaces that elevate your spirit, foster joy, and bring a sense of comfort and belonging. Life is too short to invest your time and energy in places that rob your tranquility. Instead, choose environments that nourish your soul, where conversations are inspiring, and where you can truly unwind without the burden of someone else's chaos pressing down on you. Remember, your well-being is important, and it's okay to prioritize it in your living arrangements. Number 3. The residence where you're only needed, not esteemed. Some homes open their doors to you, but only when it suits their needs. These are the places where your company isn't cherished, but merely tolerated when there's something to gain. Perhaps they invite you when they need a caregiver for their kids, an extra pair of hands for chores, or a loan to cover a sudden cost. Yet, when you're the one in need, whether for companionship, emotional support, or just a warm chat, they're nowhere to be found. This dynamic can be profoundly draining, creating the illusion of closeness with family or friends, but beneath the surface, it's entirely one-sided. You give, they take. You show up, they vanish when it's your turn to receive. Remember, healthy relationships are built on mutual support and respect. And it's okay to set boundaries in one-sided situations. If someone only reaches out when they need a favor, but never takes the time to check on you, ask about your life, or support you in return, it's a clear sign they see you as a tool rather than a valued presence. Your time, kindness, and energy are precious. Being generous and helpful is a wonderful quality, but it should never come at the cost of being used or feeling unappreciated. A healthy relationship, whether with family, friends, or neighbors, should be built on mutual care and respect. It should be about more than just utility, should include love, concern, and reciprocity. Take a step back and evaluate. Are you truly valued, or are you just being used? If your presence is only acknowledged when there's a task to complete, or a favor to grant, it may be time to set boundaries. You deserve to be in spaces where you're wanted for who you are, not just for what you can provide. If you're still watching this video and finding these insights helpful, please comment number 1 below to let me know you're still with me. Thank you for your precious time. Number 4. The residence that feels like a weight. Have you ever visited someone's home and sensed you weren't truly welcome? Perhaps the moment they open the door, their expression falters slightly before forcing a courteous smile. Maybe they sigh as they let you in, their body language rigid and uneasy. They check their watch often, subtly hinting they have more pressing matters to attend to. Their responses to your conversation are brief, distracted, or even dismissive, making it clear your presence is more of a duty than a pleasure. A home should be a place of warmth, a space where you're greeted with genuine enthusiasm and where your company feels valued, not merely endured. True hospitality comes from the heart. It cannot be faked for long. If you constantly feel like you're imposing, if the atmosphere feels heavy with unspoken impatience or reluctance, then it may be time to question why you keep visiting. No one should have to plead for someone's time, attention, or kindness. Your presence should not feel like an inconvenience or a favor reluctantly granted. Respect yourself enough to step back. There's nothing wrong with wanting to be in spaces where you're truly welcomed, appreciated, and embraced. Life is too brief to chase after people who make you feel like an outsider in their world. Number 5. The residence where you're disrespected. Respect is not just a courtesy, it's a fundamental human need, especially as we age and gather a lifetime of wisdom and experience. A home should be a place of warmth, understanding, and mutual gratitude. Sadly, not all homes provide this environment. Some are filled with individuals who belittle, dismiss, or ignore older people, treating them as an afterthought rather than valued members of the family. Disrespect can take many forms. It could be someone interrupting you mid-sentence as if your words lack value. It might be the way your thoughts, advice, or stories are brushed off as irrelevant or outdated. It could be the size of impatience, when you take a moment longer to express your point, or the eye rolls that make you feel like a burden rather than a blessing. In some cases, disrespect is more overt rude remarks. condescending tones, or even being excluded from important family discussions and decisions. No one deserves to be in an environment where they're consistently disrespected, undervalued, or made to feel like a nuisance. If you find yourself in such a home, whether it belongs to a relative, friend, or even your own family, do not hesitate to leave. Your presence should never be taken for granted. Seek out spaces where your wisdom is appreciated, where your stories are met with interest, and where you're treated with the kindness and respect you deserve. Surround yourself with those who see your value, who listen with patience, and who cherish your company. A home should be a place where you feel safe, loved, and respected, never anything less. Number 6. The residence that harms your mental well-being. Have you ever stepped into a home and immediately felt an overwhelming sense of discomfort? Some environments carry a heaviness that's hard to ignore, whether it's the energy in the air, the tension among the people, or an unspoken hostility that lingers. These are the homes that drain your spirit rather than uplift it, leaving you feeling emotionally exhausted, anxious, or even depressed after spending time there. Your mental health is just as critical as your physical health. Just as you wouldn't repeatedly expose yourself to a place filled with toxins, you shouldn't force yourself to endure a space that diminishes your emotional well-being. If visiting someone's home consistently brings you stress, sadness, or anxiety, take it as a sign that it may not be a healthy place for you. The impact of negative environments can be profound, affecting your mood, self-esteem, and overall sense of peace. A toxic home isn't always defined by overt conflicts. Sometimes it's the passive-aggressive remarks, the constant criticism, or the feeling of walking on eggshells around certain people. It might be a space where negativity, resentment, or dysfunction dominate, making it impossible to relax and be yourself. Even if no harsh words are spoken, the energy of a place can reveal everything you need to know. Pay attention to how you feel when you enter and when you leave. If you notice a pattern of emotional distress, it's time to reconsider whether that space is worth your presence. Protecting your mental and emotional well-being means prioritizing environments that nourish your soul, not deplete it. Surround yourself with spaces that make you feel welcome, valued, and at peace. A home should be a place of comfort and security, not a source of stress or emotional turmoil. Give yourself permission to walk away from toxic spaces and invest your time in areas where you can truly breathe. Feel safe and be yourself. Number 7. The residence that no longer supports your growth. As we travel through life, we evolve. With each passing year, our priorities, values, and desires shift. In our younger days, we may have been drawn to the excitement of social gatherings, the rush of fast-paced lifestyles, or the chase for superficial aims. But as time progresses, something within us transforms. We begin to crave deeper bonds, moments of quiet contemplation, and a sense of tranquility that only comes with maturity. We seek wisdom, the kind that comes from life's experiences, the lessons learned through both happiness and sorrow. We find ourselves yearning for more meaningful conversations, ones that enrich our spirit rather than deplete it. However, not everyone embarks on this same journey of growth. Some people remain stuck in their old patterns, trapped in harmful habits, surrounded by shallow discussions, and entrenched in self-destructive behaviors. They may continue to engage in the same cycles that held them captive in their youth, ignoring the profound changes life offers. When you find yourself in these spaces with people who aren't growing alongside you, it can feel like a constant struggle to find your balance. If you're in a home or space that no longer aligns with your personal growth, it's okay to step away. Sometimes, the greatest act of self-care is choosing to remove yourself from environments that no longer serve your best interests. This includes physical spaces, but also extends to the people within them. If the energy of those around you brings out the worst in you, leaving you feeling drained, frustrated, or misunderstood, it may be time to reconsider your place in that space. A home should be a sanctuary, a place where you feel valued, supported, and encouraged to become the best version of yourself. When this ceases to be true, it's a sign that change is needed. As we age, we begin to understand something deeply profound. Not every place is meant for us. Not every relationship is worth holding on to, and not every home will continue to welcome us with the same warmth it once did. The spaces that once felt comforting, nurturing, and full of promise may no longer feel that way. What once felt like a haven may now feel like a trap. The warmth of familiarity may now feel like the stifling grip of stagnation. At this stage in life, wisdom teaches us that our time, peace, and happiness are incredibly valuable. We come to realize that these precious resources are not to be wasted on social obligations, outdated expectations, or relationships that drain us. The pursuit of personal growth becomes paramount. We are no longer willing to sacrifice our peace for the sake of others' comfort, or to remain in situations that hinder our evolution. Learning to let go is one of the most empowering acts we can engage in. But letting go doesn't mean doing so with bitterness or anger. It means releasing what no longer serves us with understanding and sometimes even with gratitude. We release without resentment because we know that doing so allows us the space to grow, heal, and create a life that aligns with the person we are becoming. This is not about abandoning others or being selfish. It's about making conscious decisions to be in environments that nourish our mind, body, and soul. The relationships and spaces that remain are those that bring out the best in us, those that challenge us in constructive ways, and those that celebrate our growth. As we continue to evolve, we must choose to surround ourselves with the people and places that mirror the version of ourselves we aspire to be. In the end, choosing the right space isn't just about physical surroundings, it's about emotional and spiritual alignment. It's about being in places where we feel valued, understood, and supported. These spaces help us grow into who we are meant to be, and they provide the foundation for a life of peace, fulfillment, and deep contentment. If you're still watching this video and finding these lessons helpful, please comment number 2 below to let me know you're still with me. Thank you for your valuable time. The reality of time, your most precious resource. Every moment you spend in negativity, worry, or resentment is a moment you'll never reclaim. The clock keeps ticking, and each passing second represents a part of your life slipping away, never to return. Every hour wasted in an environment that saps your energy, whether with people who don't respect you or situations that no longer serve your purpose, is an hour stolen from your happiness. Time is the one resource you can never replenish, and as you age, you come to realize the true cost of letting time slip away on things that don't enrich your soul. At this stage in life, you cannot afford to waste what little time remains on anything that doesn't align with your inner peace, growth, and joy. The years ahead may not be as long as those you've already lived, and each day becomes increasingly precious. Choose wisely what you devote your time and energy to. It will shape your experiences, memories, and legacy. Choose where you go, who you spend time with, and which relationships or spaces you leave behind. In the end, you are not responsible for keeping connections alive that no longer serve your well-being, your joy, or your purpose. Let go of the weight that holds you back, for you deserve more than to be tethered to things that no longer align with the life you wish to live. The power of peace, departing without remorse. Walking away from situations or relationships that no longer serve you is not an act of cruelty, it's an act of self-respect. It's the acknowledgement that some spaces, people, and situations no longer align with your peace, and the time to let go has arrived. Often, we carry the burden of guilt, feeling responsible for maintaining relationships or meeting expectations that no longer feel fulfilling. But to preserve your mental and emotional well-being, sometimes the most courageous decision is to step away and leave what no longer nurtures you behind. Do not feel guilty for choosing your well-being over outdated obligations. You are not selfish in protecting your soul. You've already given enough. Your time, your energy, your courage. If it's not being reciprocated, it's time to reclaim what is rightfully yours. You have tried enough, invested enough, and offered enough of yourself. Now is the time to prioritize your peace. Do not let guilt or societal pressure dictate your choices. You are worthy of a life free from the burden of unnecessary stress, negativity, and toxicity. It is not only okay to walk away, is often the most loving thing you can do for yourself. True happiness lies in meaningful connections. True joy is not found in forced visits or empty interactions. It's not about fulfilling obligations that feel hollow or maintaining relationships out of a sense of duty. True happiness is found in genuine relationships with people who see and appreciate you for who you truly are, who respect your boundaries, and who bring warmth to your heart. These are the people who fill you with love, laughter, and encouragement, not the ones who drain your energy or demand more from you than you can give. Let go of the outdated belief that you must keep everyone in your life just because they were once important, or because society tells you to. You do not need to carry the weight of relationships that no longer serve you, or reflect the person you are becoming. Instead, cherish the few who truly uplift you and who make you feel seen, heard, and valued. A life filled with a few real connections is far better than a life surrounded by countless empty ones, where your energy is spread thin, and your spirit feels unfulfilled. True happiness lies not in quantity but in the quality of the connections you choose to nurture. In the end, it is those who add value to your life and bring you joy that will remain in your heart and memory long after other distractions fade away. The final lesson: live for yourself, not for others. As you age, you will learn that not every invitation must be accepted, not every call must be returned, and not every door must remain open. The more you experience life, the clearer it becomes that your time, your energy, and your attention are precious. The greatest freedom in old age is not in what you can still achieve or accumulate, but in the freedom to choose how to spend your time, where to invest your energy, and who to welcome into your life. Do not let guilt, fear, or social pressure dictate your choices. You have the power to decide what is worth your attention, and you have earned the right to choose peace, happiness, and contentment on your terms. Live for yourself, not for others. Choose peace over chaos. Choose happiness over obligation. Choose stillness over noise. Choose joy over frustration. Choose to live a life that is authentic to you, one that reflects the person you have become, and one that brings you fulfillment. Not because others expect it of you, but because you deserve it. Live for the moments that matter, for the connections that bring you peace, and for the choices that honor your heart and soul. The final life lesson is simple. Choose to live for yourself, and in doing so, you will find the true freedom and happiness you have always sought. As we journey through life, we understand the importance of safeguarding our peace, choosing our surroundings wisely, and valuing the relationships that truly uplift us. Not every place is meant for us, and not every invitation needs to be accepted. The greatest freedom in old age is the ability to decide where we invest our time, energy, and presence. What have you learned from this video? Share one lesson that resonated with you and that you will bring into practice in your own life. Leave your thoughts in the comments below. Love to hear from you. If you enjoyed this video, please leave your comment below. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.